I am so glad you're here for another episode of Mechanism Monday, where every Monday we write out the electron-pushing arrow mechanisms for different organic reactions. So why should we still trust what scientists say?
You shouldn't just blindly trust anything any scientist is saying. The process kind of relies on skepticism. The self-correcting process of science does seem sometimes self-contradicting, especially when it's moving this fast. If everything in this paper were true, would this be of suitable value to make part of the scientific record?
People are submitting papers written entirely by AI that are then getting reviewed entirely by AI. So ultimately, it's this feedback loop where we're creating a dead internet situation.
Huge if true, right? The process of being a scientist isn't about changing our minds. It's about being willing to adjust based on data.
In last week's video, I asked if you could solve the mechanism for this organic reaction, so if you haven't had a chance, pause the video now and try it independently. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll give you another mechanism to solve for next week's video. This is a really cool reaction, published by Fuchs and Funk at Penn State. Originally published in Organic Letters in 2001, you can check out the reference right here. And what makes this reaction so important is the production of what's known as a beta phenylethylamine. Many biologically active compounds contain the beta phenylethylamine moiety, in either its acyclic form or as part of a larger polycyclic molecule. And this reaction begins with something really cool known as a hetero diels alder reaction, which you may have seen in your organic chemistry class, although it's pretty advanced. And in this hetero diels alder reaction, what's going to happen is these electrons will come over here to give us acetone. These electrons will come down to give us a brand new carbon-to-carbon double bond, which is going to shift over these pi electrons to give us an aldehyde at this terminal position. And that's how we get our aldehyde in our final product. Next, the reason that we need our Lewis acid is to coordinate to the oxygen of the aldehyde. This is going to activate that carbonyl position, making it susceptible to nucleophilic attack, and in fact allowing us to do what's known as an electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction, where pi electrons from the aromatic ring will come and attack the alkene. The pi electrons in the alkene will shift over to move between the carbon-to-carbon bond that was formerly an aldehyde, shifting up the pi electrons in the carbon-to-oxygen double bond to make our oxygen be neutral. From here, this generates a resonance-stabilized arenium complex, just like in electrophilic aromatic substitution, which can be deprotonated to restore aromaticity. Next, acidic workup allows us to kick off our Lewis acid and generate an enol at this position. And anytime you see an enol, you should think about the keto-enol tautomerization that can occur. I actually have a video describing this mechanism, and that eventually leads to us generating our final product. And this elegant work was published by Fuchs and Funk of Penn State in Organic Letters in 2001. If you enjoyed this week's mechanism, give it a thumbs up down below. And for next week, I'd love to see if you could figure out the electron-pushing arrow mechanism for this organic reaction. Drop your proposal down below and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on another Mechanism Monday. I'll see you next week.